So, Nova Scotia, they call it Canada's best kept secret. A secret? How quaint. Why would anyone want a secret vacation spot? The whole point is to go where everyone else goes, to post the same photos, to have the same predictable experiences. This secret business sounds terribly inconvenient. It suggests a distinct lack of trendy suffering. And where's the fun in that, I ask you? They whisper about its untouched beauty. Untouched? That's just alarming. Where are the throngs of tourists? The selfie sticks battling for the same tired shot? If it's so beautiful, why isn't it ruined yet? This lack of crowds is deeply suspicious. It makes one wonder what they're hiding. Perhaps it's just too much space. Ah, the Cabot Trail, a road, in Nova Scotia. They make a big fuss about this particular stretch of asphalt. It loops around Cape Breton Island, you see, for a staggering 185 miles or so they claim. They say it's renowned, a word people use for things they want you to like. For its coastal views, its highland scenery, craggy coastlines, dramatic cliffs, all that jazz. Sounds like a lot of looking out the window. Honestly, it just seems like a very long drive. They boast about these coastal views relentlessly, the vast empty ocean on one side, rolling hills, sometimes mountains on the other. You've seen an ocean, haven't you? You've seen a hill. Sure, it's probably nice, but is it worth all the fuss? The endless winding? Imagine the sheer effort of appreciating it all. It's a lot to ask of someone on holiday. They expect you to be impressed by nature's grandeur, how terribly demanding of them. Then there are the craggy coastlines. Let's talk about Cheticamp. It's one of the key stops, they say. A small town, on the Cabot Trail, probably filled with, well, small town things. You know the type, quiet streets, local shops, people who might actually say hello to you, the horror. The sheer unadulterated horror. It's the kind of place where time slows down. And who wants that when you're trying to cram in experiences? Then there are the other fishing villages, dotted along the coastline like too many sprinkles on a cupcake, lighthouses standing there all stoic and historic, colorful pubs probably serving local beer. How dreadfully picturesque it all sounds, each one vying to be more charming than the last. It's an onslaught of quaintness, a relentless parade of adorably painted houses. You might even be forced to take a pleasant photograph, the indignity of it all. And then we have Cape Breton Highlands National Park, another park, because the world needs more of those, apparently. Filled with trees and rocks, and probably some dirt. It's nature in its most natural state. They expect you to be impressed by this, as if you haven't seen a tree before, or a particularly interesting boulder. It's all very green and very outdoorsy. For those who enjoy that sort of thing, which frankly sounds like a lot of effort, the park offers numerous hiking trails, lots of them, so you can walk. Often uphill, I imagine, for views. The kind of views that make you sweat, and possibly question your life choices. Why climb a mountain when you can take an elevator? It's a much more efficient way to see things from above. Hiking is just a prolonged, scenic way to get tired. And who needs more ways to get tired? Section 5. Halifax. A city trying too hard to be charming. Halifax, the capital city of Nova Scotia. A place that wears its history on its sleeve. It has history, they tell you. Maritime history, no less. The kind that's supposed to make you feel connected to the sea, to the sailors of yore. Ships and sailors and salty tales, I presume. Stories of adventure and peril on the high seas. As if every coastal city doesn't have some sort of maritime past. It's almost a prerequisite for being near the ocean. They probably have a museum, or several, each one filled with relics of the past, trying to keep the spirit of the old days alive. Full of old ropes and rusty anchors. Artifacts that once had a purpose, now just collecting dust. You can almost smell the faint aroma of fish and desperation. The scent of a city clinging to its identity. It's a city trying to convince you of its importance. Through plaques and landmarks it whispers, "Look at me, I mattered once." Through stories of things that happened a long, long time ago. Events that shaped the city, or so they say. How utterly riveting for the easily distracted. Tourists who came for the charm but found themselves yawning. Then there's the vibrant art scene. A term that often means a lot of effort with varying degrees of success. That usually means a lot of confusing paintings. Abstracts that make you question the artist's intent. And sculptures that make you ask, but is it art? Pieces that challenge your perception, or just leave you scratching your head. Perhaps a few struggling musicians playing in dimly lit bars. Pouring their hearts out to an audience that may or may not be listening. It's culture with a capital C, the kind that's supposed to enrich your soul but sometimes just feels like an obligation, the kind that makes you feel slightly inadequate, or perhaps just bored. Wondering if you're missing something profound. A vibrant art scene often translates to not much else to do. So people get creative out of sheer necessity. They turn the mundane into the extraordinary. It's a noble effort, I suppose. A city trying to be more than just a footnote in history, trying to be charming even if it's trying a bit too hard. Section 6, Lunenburg and lighthouses because history is so thrilling. Ah, Lunenburg. A picturesque town that seems to have been plucked straight out of a history book and placed gently on the coast of Nova Scotia. A UNESCO World Heritage Site. That sounds educational. And it is in the best and worst ways possible. And potentially a bit dry. You know, the kind of place where you feel like you should be taking notes like an old textbook you're forced to read. The kind with yellowed pages and a musty smell that makes you sneeze. It means it's important, historically speaking. A place where every brick and beam has a story to tell, which often translates to, look, don't touch. The kind of place where you're constantly reminded to keep your hands to yourself, and please appreciate the cultural significance, because every corner, every cobblestone is steeped in history. It's the kind of place where you feel obliged to learn something, even if you're just there for a casual stroll, even when all you want is a decent cup of coffee, a moment to sit and relax, away from the historical overload, and perhaps a pastry that doesn't date back to the 18th century, something fresh, something modern. UNESCO sites for when fun takes a back seat to preservation. They're like time capsules, preserving the past for future generations. They boast of its well-preserved colonial architecture, old buildings, lots of them, painted in bright colors, each one a testament to the craftsmanship of a bygone era. So you can walk around and say, that's an old building, and marvel at how it's still standing, and then move on to the next old building. Because there's always another one just around the corner. It's a feast for the eyes, if your eyes enjoy things that are old, and meticulously preserved, and haven't fallen down yet. Which is, in itself, quite an achievement, which is, admittedly, an achievement, to stand the test of time and remain a symbol of the past. But after the 20th brightly colored historic house, you might start to wonder if there's anything else. Something that speaks to the present, not just the past. Anything perhaps from the current century, a blend of the old and the new, where history meets modernity. Section 7, whale watching, just big fish, nothing to see here. So you can go whale watching. Off the coast of Cheticamp, for instance. They bundle you into a Zodiac boat, which sounds suspiciously like an inflatable raft, and send you out into the cold, open ocean to look for whales. Large marine mammals going about their whale business. It's an activity, something to tick off the list. Saw whales, check. Then you can go back to shore slightly damp and windswept. They say you can see up to 10 species of whales. Pilot whales, minke whales, fin whales, maybe even a majestic humpback if you're lucky. And the weather cooperates. And the whales are in a sociable mood. It's a lot of variables for a simple vacation activity. You're essentially at the mercy of Mother Nature, and the whims of creatures that live underwater. It sounds like a gamble, frankly. Section 8, local cuisine seafood again? How original. Let's discuss the food in Nova Scotia. They talk a lot about fresh seafood, lobster, scallops, oysters, haddock. It's as if the entire culinary scene revolves around things pulled from the ocean. Which, given its location, is hardly surprising, but still, a little variety wouldn't hurt, would it? What if you're not in the mood for something that recently had gills? What if you crave the comforting embrace of processed cheese, or a burger that tastes exactly the same in Halifax as it does in Houston? These are serious considerations for the discerning traveler. Take the Seagull restaurant, for example. It's on the Cabot Trail, in a place called Ingonish. It offers an oceanfront terrace, more ocean, and what's on the menu? Fresh lobster rolls, grilled haddock, scallops. Surprise, surprise. It's probably delicious, freshly caught, expertly prepared. Section 9, cultural overload and travel tips. The burden of authenticity. And then there's the culture. Oh, the culture, it's everywhere you turn, a constant reminder of the island's rich heritage. Cape Breton Island, they say, has a strong Celtic heritage. Traditional music, fiddles and accordions probably. The melodies are enchanting, yet they carry the weight of history. Lively dances that might require audience participation. How traditional and potentially exhausting. Imagine being pulled into a dance circle, your feet struggling to keep up with the intricate steps. It's one thing to listen to music, to let the notes wash over you as you relax. It's another to be expected to clap along, to become part of the performance whether you want to or not, or worse, to actually learn a step or two. The pressure to perform can be overwhelming. This isn't a workout video, it's a vacation, a time to unwind, not to stress about mastering a new skill. The pressure to engage with authentic traditions can be immense. It's as if every moment must be a learning experience. Sometimes a person just wants to observe quietly from a safe distance. To take in the sights and sounds without the obligation to participate. Then you have the Mi'kmaq culture. A rich tapestry of traditions and history that demands respect and understanding. Opportunities to learn about the indigenous Mi'kmaq people, their stories, their struggles, their triumphs, their traditions, their history, their connection to the land. It's a profound experience, one that can be deeply moving. It's all very enriching, I'm sure, but sometimes, the weight of all this knowledge can feel like a burden. But learning things, on vacation? It's a lot to take in when all you wanted was a break. It sounds suspiciously like school, and who wants to go back to school during their time off? And I thought I was done with school. The last thing I expected was to be thrust back into a classroom setting. Who needs these genuine, deep-rooted cultural experiences when you can have the thrill of a theme park? When you can have manufactured theme park culture, much more digestible. No pressure to learn, just pure entertainment. And usually comes with a catchy song, easy to remember, easy to enjoy, no strings attached.